Hello and welcome to at Matthewson Golf. This is my introductory video to introduce myself to the YouTube world, if you will, and share with everybody what my knowledge is of the golf swing and why I believe that the classic golden age golf swing is superior to what many are teaching today, which I generalize as the modern golf swing. To start off, of course, it probably would be a good idea to let you know a little bit about myself, my history in the game, um, my mentors and teachers, and how I arrived at uh, my opinion. And it's certainly opinion. There's many ways to swing the golf club. There are no necessarily wrong or right ways to do it, I guess. I just believe there is one superior way to do it, and that is what the Golden Greats left us as far as a history to follow, from Harry Varden, old Tom Morris, Bobby Jones, Ben Hogan, Byron Nelson, uh, Arnold Palmer, uh, and even today with some modern golfers that don't necessarily abide by the modern golf swing, but are much more in tune with the mechanics and principles of the classic golden age swing, Matt Fitzpatrick and Victor Hovland. So I think there just might be a trend coming to where the modern golf swing, as it's being taught today, uh, may be a little bit more complicated for people to understand. Very much more complicated for instructors to teach. They're all over and across the board on different ways of going about swinging the golf club, and it really makes things confusing. And if you've watched videos on YouTube, which there are many, you certainly understand very well how many different philosophies and perspectives they are on the golf swing. And that is why I land on where I am with regard to the classic swing. And it really has to deal overall with just my history, um, and my fervor of belief in that it is the best way to swing the golf club. I don't think there's anything new and revolutionary other than what people try to call new and revolutionary, and also put a stamp on it as being better. I don't know if I completely agree with that, but again, there's many ways to swing a golf club. This is just my opinion. So my history. Uh, I was introduced to the game by my grandfather, Jack Mathewson. He grew up in Des Moines, Iowa. He was a caddy in the 1930s at Wakanda Golf Club. That's how he was introduced to the game. Wakanda Golf Club is a tremendous course, even to this day, one of my favorite courses I've ever played. And I've played a lot across the country over the years. And Wakanda is an absolute gem of a golf course. PGA Tour apparently thinks so as well. They play the PGA Senior Tour event, Principal Charity Classic, there annually. So that's a pretty good stamp of approval, if you ask me. Um, Learned the game from my grandfather. Uh, just became fervently addicted to the game as a youngster. In high school, my sophomore year, I tied for the state title in regulation play. There was a three-way tie. I lost in the playoff for the state title my sophomore year. Um, Junior year, second place. And then finally, my senior year, I was able to get away with a state title, um, that senior year at Lake Panorama Golf Course, and that was really what started my trajectory and was kind of the not the linchpin, but a good boost on my blessing uh, to garner a scholarship to the University of Alabama Birmingham UAB. Uh, there, I had a good career. Much of it was improved because of a pro down there by the name of Mr. John Gustin, which I will get into a little bit here in a moment. Um, at UAB, was team captain my senior year there. Also was a two-time All Sun Belt Conference academic athletic. Uh, really enjoyed my time down there. Had great teammates and many fond memories of times and people that I met, especially that of Mr. John Gustin. He was the professional at Birmingham Country Club. Um, I started working with him while I was at UAB, and the unique thing about Mr. Gustin was not that just he was a great player and he was an awe-inspiring shot maker and ball striker that really impressed me right out of the gate on the first lesson when we pulled the 4-wood out of my golf bag and just started striping before we even started the lesson, as we were just getting to know each other and talking. And I could not believe it was like stamping bottle caps. It was impressive, and he had me hooked that I better listen, right? Um, but the unique thing about Mr. Gustin that only gives more credence to what I learned and why I respect him so much is that he was best friends, very close friends, um, with Ben Hogan, and they played the tour together around the same era, and they were very close friends and until the death of Mr. Hogan. And actually, Mr. Hogan called John my shadow at a tour event. They hadn't yet met each other. They were both on the range, and Ben, after leaving the range and done with his warm up, went into the clubhouse and he vocalized to the other players in the locker room. He says, "I'll be darned, I think I just saw my shadow," and he was referring to Mr. Hogan due to um, they swung very similarly, if not identical. Many would think it would be identical, but they weren't exactly the same golf swing. But he's about as close to Hogan as you're ever going to find, in my opinion. Again, that's my opinion. And they became lifelong friends ever since. So that was and is really the foundation of what my golf channel, YouTube channel is going to be delving into are the teachings of Mr. Hogan. We're essentially mirror images of that of Gustin and Hogan and Gustin, and where one begins, the other ends, and vice versa. So um, Mr. Hogan is still seen today as many and most of the tour players today, whether they were uh, asked for their vote back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s on through today. It's pretty much a consensus that the best swing in the history of the game was Ben Hogan. The best ball striker in the history of the game was and is Ben Hogan. And I'm just so honored to be able to have that connection through Mr. Gustin directly to Mr. Hogan, and I'm hoping that the content that I'll be bringing will be able to provide more information and good information. Uh, the one thing that I would like to say before I close out on this introductory video, just to introduce myself to you, is that back in the day, when you're talking about old Tom Morris, Varden, Sarazen, Bobby Jones, Hogan, Byron Nelson, all those guys, the equipment was not near where it's at today. The ball, the shafts, the heads, everything's computerized today, uh, computer matched. The equipment is just completely different, right? And because of that, you know for a fact they had to have a consistent swing that took advantage of the biomechanics of the human body, not what a computer said, but the biomechanics of the human body to deliver and create the most consistent and most powerful swings possible, because the equipment was not and technology was not there to give the boost. And so over the years, these gents from the classic golden age figured some things out. And those principles are still true today, regardless of where the technology is at. And as I said, we've got some guys on the tour today that are gravitating back towards more traditional golden age type of swings. The one thing that I will say that is to start off with is, and I'll leave it at this as far as the contradiction um, the variance and differences between the modern swing and the golden age swing. Primarily, I believe is the golden age classic swing was a swing where the torso and the upper arms were more connected. It was a more connected swing. There was a little bit more wrist and forearm use in the old swing of the classic ages. They tipped the shaft at the top of the swing. Not so much done. Still done a little bit in the modern swing and modern players, but not a lot. The Golden Age swing is an inside takeaway uh, where the pathway down to the ball, the hands are on a plane above and over what the swing plane was on the takeaway. This creates an overhand right throw, which is biomechanically better. Again, squeezing out more power, more consistency than one would biomechanically with an underhand pitch. Um, and that's just one ingredient of the difference. The modern swing is taught by many to shallow the shaft as you come into the ball, and that is essentially the biomechanics of an underhand pitch. We all know that if you are throwing overhand in baseball, you're going to get more velocity on that pitch than you can with an underhand softball throw. Uh, that's one ingredient. The other is that the connection of the upper arm and the torso on the takeaway is much longer and more consistent. Uh, that brings you back into the hitting zone on a more consistent basis. I was just watching the other day a YouTube video by one of Tiger Woods's past instructors, teachers, talking about how getting the arms extended away from the middle of the body as much as possible, reaching the hands back as you take the club back, really reach back, and also have very, which ends up in very high hands. Well, all of that creates this disconnect, and you have to, whatever is disconnected, you have to reconnect. And when you go disconnect to reconnect, by the time you get to the impact zone, that's something that is very, very hard to do consistently. And you have to hit a ton of balls. You have to put a lot of time in. And that is just not something that's possible for the average golfer. The traditional classical swing is much more consistent because you don't have to have as the need isn't as high for needing that timing and consistency coming into the impact zone. So it's a lot easier to teach. It's a lot easier to understand. You don't have to practice as much. It's easier on the back, and it's biomechanically superior to the modern day swing. That's just my opinion. There's many ways to swing the club. Everybody has their opinion. That just happens to be mine. So that's essentially the crux of where my channel is going to go as far as content, is talking about the things that I learned from Mr. Gustin through Ben Hogan, um, and giving you that insight as well. And I look forward to the journey. More content is yet to come. Uh, Please like and subscribe. That's what you're supposed to do when you're on YouTube, apparently. It does help promote my channel, and I look forward to meeting you all through comments or in person. I am giving lessons in person locally. I have and can do video lessons as well, to where you shoot to me. Uh, video of your swing from behind and front on, and we can share videos as far as the instruction and so forth in that regard as well. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you again soon.